Hey, how you doing? This is Blake Yarber. I'm here today to do my oral history interview. Joining me today is Brandon Driggers, a Georgia native. He actually owns his own DJ business. It's called Amp It Up Entertainment. Centered out of Central Georgia, Houston County, Georgia region. He does a lot of stuff up and down the state, dealing with that, weddings, proms, all that kind of stuff. So just want to introduce him. This is DJ Driggers. I got a series of questions I'm gonna ask him, just to get it through, just to see his mindset as an entrepreneur and starting his own business. First up, how did the idea of your business come about?
The idea came about when I was about 21, maybe. I was still getting my bachelor degree at Georgia Southern, and I had a older friend come to me. He was a buy-in in his own kind of DJ business, and so they needed DJs. So I kind of shadowed him for about a month, and then I started DJing for them, and then I kind of thought about going into my own thing because I feel like I can make more money. So that's kind of how the idea came about.
I gotcha. All right, what's your key driving force behind this business? Behind becoming an entrepreneur and opening up your own little deal.
I guess the biggest thing is I ain't gonna say finances, but I feel like the biggest thing I knew it would help. It would help with the money situation in the household. I feel like an extra income of money. That's always a positive. But I guess the big thing is I'm an outgoing person. I love being around people, being life of the party. So if you're a DJ, you're the life of the party. So that's the biggest thing.
So Amp It Up Entertainment. How'd you come up with that name?
Me and my wife and her mom was sitting there one night, and we sat there for about 45 minutes thinking about this names that's like that. When you hear, she's like, oh yeah, they know what they're talking about. So if you amping it up, I mean, an amp is loud. We like to be loud. We want to amp it up. So that's how we come up with it.
I gotcha. All right. So how did you start out with your funding?
So the biggest way was my wife's dad. He kind of bought into the company. So he came to me one day and he asked me how'd I feel about starting my own business. And at first I was like, well, I already got a DJ business. I mean, I already work with a DJ company, so I don't really need to. He's like, well, I mean, you could probably make a lot more money, type deal. So he kind of invested in me, and it kind of went from there. So he invested all the equipment. He bought all the equipment for me, and I had to pay him back, type deal. But other than that, that was the biggest way. The funding, so funding came through her dad.
I gotcha. All right, good deal. All right, next, how do you build that successful customer base? What do you do? Advertisement and all that kind of stuff.
The biggest thing is I do through social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Now TikTok's famous. We try to go through there. I go live every Wednesday night now. I try to get people to share that. Making friends. And so at every event, I hand my business card out to. So if it's a wedding and there's a photographer lady there or the video people there, I hand them my business card. So word of mouth, social media, basically just put my name out like that.
I gotcha. What kind of culture exists in your business, and how did you establish that culture?
The culture, man. The most, I would say, being professional. I mean, that's my number one thing. If you're not professional, especially when it comes to a wedding, that's somebody's special day. So if you're not professional there, then it can look very bad. I would say I came up with that when from my previous company. The guy I shadowed, he was real big on like little things being right. So the cord being in the right spot. You ain't got cords hanging around everywhere. So probably the biggest things is the culture's being professional and being neat and clean and knowing what you're doing.
All right, good deal, man. How many hours a week do you work on average? Now, I know, you're a teacher. That's your first job, and this business is your second job. So dealing with your business, how many hours a week do you put in with Amp It Up Entertainment?
So weekly, it varies. If I got something coming up that week or that weekend, majority of the time it takes me probably about, I spend about 3 hours a week during the week. Now I spend about 3 to 4 hours like getting my music downloaded, looking at everything, looking at if it's a wedding, looking at the bride and grooms, looking at their transcripts and all that, how everything's going. But most of the time, the hours come from the weekend. I'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning some days, and I won't get home till 1 o'clock in the morning. So most of my hours come from those single days, like a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah. So just dealing with your Saturday, can you kind of outline or describe your typical, let's just say a wedding. Say you're going to set up for a wedding.
All right. So biggest thing is being on time. So if I say I got a wedding in Atlanta, top deal, traffic can be bad in Atlanta. So I'm going to make sure I plan ahead that I got time to get there, stop and get something to eat. So let's say I get up at 8. We'll get on the road. We'll get there with ample time. I try to get there 4 hours before the wedding even starts. So it gives me time to set up. Gives me time to test a little bit of music out, make sure everything's working. So we'll get there, set up, wait for the wedding to start, and after that we'll go through the ceremony, go through the reception, go through the party part of the reception. Then after that, we break down everything and we head back to the house.
So you're looking at like 8 to 10 hour days.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right. How was being an entrepreneur? How has that affected your life? How's that changed?
I guess the biggest thing it's affecting me is it's helped me become a better person. All right. The biggest way is to help me. Now I teach. If you're not, I feel like professionalism is like top priority when being a teacher. So owning my own business, I know how to talk to folks now. I know how to run a business. I know how to, when somebody approaches me about a difficult situation, I know how to handle it professionally and not just off the wall. So in my opinion, that's the biggest way it's affected me, is it showed me how to be a professional and still be a human being type deal.
Gotcha. All right. What motivates you?
What motivates me? I would say the people around me, man. People like you guys, man. Every time y'all see me, y'all be like, DJ Dre, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of hype. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows who I am when I walk in. My family, you know what I'm saying? My wife, you could get some people on your side to be like, I don't want to do this weekend. That's too much. We don't ever have time together. But she always pushes me to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing is my family, my friends, and the people I care about.
Okay. How do you generate new ideas? Like maybe reaching out to different organizations that you typically wouldn't DJ for. How do you generate those new ideas?
I generate new ideas basically through like the biggest thing would be like a special education prom. All right. Mm-hmm. So those proms are different. They'll have them on different days than they would like a regular prom. All right, so there's new ideas you take to a sped prom would be different for general education prom. Mm-hmm. So there's new ideas I would generate through. I would kind of look around and see how other people have done them in the past. Top deal. Generate those new ideas always brings a funk to any kind of different kind of gig I do. So that's the biggest way.
I got you. What would you say your greatest fear, and how do you manage that fear?
Greatest fear, dealing with DJ and all is like something like messing up as I'm like doing a wedding type deal, or something like that. So if I'm doing a wedding and the bride's walking down and like the music kind of just stops. That's the biggest thing. But the managing part is, like I said, I get to 4 hours before anything. So I'll play stuff over and over and over like 3 times just to make sure I know. All right, if it happens, then I know it wasn't my fault. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest way.
I got you. So how do you define success?
Define success. I define success. I would say I would define it as in like the goals you set for yourself. All right. Mm-hmm. So coming at a young age to become a teacher, man, I set that goal at a young age. I was like, I want to coach when I get older. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm in the spot now. Just passed my master's. You know what I'm saying? That was a big goal for me to be successful in life. When it comes to my business, I always told myself, I was like, man, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. I wouldn't own my own business one day. But when Mariah's dad, my wife, her dad came to me and was like, hey, we can do this. So I set the goal to myself to pay him back fast as I could. You know what I'm saying? To be successful. So I ended up paying him back way faster than I expected. So after that, man, it's the whole business has been a huge success right now. So.
Gotcha. All right. Do you believe that there's some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
I don't feel like people have to go all out, man. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is just be yourself. All right, be yourself, be professional. Be yourself and be a professional, and I feel like everything will fall in line. If you show respect to people, they're going to show it back to you. And that's the biggest part of my business, man. Like, I'm showing respect to people, even if people don't even go with me. I've had a couple of times where it's been like between me and another company to get like a wedding or something, and those people in with me back and be like, "Well, we decided to go with them," and I'll send an email back. I'll be like, "I appreciate it. Still hope your wedding is fantastic," type deal. So really, the biggest pattern in the formula is just be yourself, but don't change yourself, and just be a professional, man. That's about it.
All right, let's get this last question. What's your favorite aspect of being your own entrepreneur, owning your own business?
That's a hard question. The biggest thing is I try not to let it get into my head. All right, so you have a lot of business owners that take advantage of. All right, yeah, I'm the boss, so I get to tell this person what to do. I get to, if they don't come, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like they take it to another level. Like they put themselves on a pedestal, like they're better than somebody. All right, I look at myself. I'm no better than you sitting beside me. Does that make sense? But I would say my favorite is just being around people, man. Being the life of the party, meeting new people, traveling, meeting new faces. And on wedding days, man, you get to see two people come together as one. You know what I'm saying? So seeing people make history with each other. That's the biggest part of being an entrepreneur, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all listening. Just giving you a little life of what it's like to be a DJ and own your own business here with Brandon Driggers. Appreciate you listening. You'll have a good day.